Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to another episode of The Worst Writer in the World, everybody.
Hooray!
I'd like to start by saying thank you to all the people who continue to support this show so wonderfully. For example, the British Comedy Guide who host it, anyone who's ever posted about the show on their social media or left us a review somewhere like on iTunes or absolutely anywhere else, anyone who's basically told anyone else about this show ever and said, check it out, it's good. I mean, those people are brilliant, right?
Yes, and you can still do those things.
You can still be a brilliant person, yeah. And, of course, all the people in our secret gang who continue to support us on Patreon and who hopefully we entertain by giving them extended episodes and exclusive material every single week. Ooh. For example, the writer of this week's plot so far, the completely unfamiliar and never before heard Rosemary Parsons.
Hooray!
Since before the dawn of time, God, Satan, and their many siblings have been playing a game called life.
Yes.
They created the planets and a load of squirriminals, and God made some humanoid mole people. Satan stole the humanoid mole people, but they were too nice, so he decided to make them evil by hoping they would become evil. Meanwhile, on Earth, Erick Jenkins arrived home after watching his 1061st humanoid mole people film to find a humanoid mole person in his blue house. However, he didn't find his dead not-wife because he'd accidentally knocked her head into a cupboard.
Yeah.
He ran straight to the police station, but PC John Wilkinson was there, so Eric got put in jail for being obsessed with moles.
Good.
Meanwhile, in Earth... Yeah, okay.
All right.
Meanwhile, in Earth, a bunch of humanoid mole scouts did exploring and found a big and long hit-em-and-they-dong pole. Some of them also found a humbug and wondered what it was. Okay, so we start this episode, we are with PC John Wilkinson, who has just walked out of the police station where he's locked Erick Jenkins up for saying that moles exist or whatever, right? Eric committed that terrible crime of saying moles are real, right? PC Wilkinson went, we're putting you in prison, right? And then he's gone out for a cigarette or something. Okay. As John walked around the back of the squat red police station...
Squat red.
Though John never classed it as such, he called it a cell and a desk. I think that's a joke. He thinks it's not even, it doesn't deserve to be called a police station, does it? It's a cell and a desk next to it. And looked upon the night stars, which were just visible through a large amount of tall trees. He was knocked out and chewed to death a minute later. Brilliant. Brilliant. I love the way you write characters out like that. Sometimes you just go, and then he died. The end. Chapter 6. Relevant Fact 2. Death invented stalagmites as well. Is this because we said earlier that death invented stalactites? No, 4. Relevant fact. Death did invent humbugs. That was the last one. 6. Relevant fact 2. Death invented stalagmites as well. However, to this very day, nobody knows who invented stalactites. Death has a pretty shrewd idea, though, but he's not telling. End of chapter.
Oh, it was a good chapter. That's my favourite chapter so far.
That was good. He said someone did a thing, but we don't know who did the other thing. Relevant fact 3. John ate a sandwich. John knew he ate a sandwich because he put it in his mouth. How could you eat a sandwich and not know? But no one knows who ate the sausage. Death knows who ate the sausage. but he's not telling us because, like, you know, Why would he?
His stalagmite might tell us if we ask nicely.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be wearing his stalactites.
No, because he hasn't got any legs.
Yeah. Of course he hasn't.
Depends what you classify as legs. If you classify a few bones as your legs, then yeah, he's got legs. But who does? Who goes, oh, what's all this flesh doing round my leg? Why have I got all this flesh and skin stuck to my leg? Get it off me! Oh no, I'm a skeleton. Look out, here comes a high Grant, he's going to eat me fucking out. I realise now, Doctor, that I was foolish to rip all my skin and flesh off thinking that it was stuck to me when actually that was me. Yeah, so people don't say that, and therefore that's why death doesn't have legs. Chapter 7, the appearance of the humanoid mole people who are fond of mint humbugs.
I think we're working in a couple of timelines here, aren't we?
Are we?
The moles have attacked up ground, but
Yeah.
it seems like this is happening before that.
Oh, like the mole story is a flashback kind of deal. Okay. Well, it certainly is back to Veltar, Yog, and Zeppa again. So they were both Scottish. All right, good. My, they're beautiful. Well done, Edra. Veltar Yog congratulated poor Stanton. That was his name, wasn't it? I'm going to start again. It's not going well.
Oh god!
I tell you what,
pick
I wish
with regular people in rather than people. Called
no, we should pick something that you typed. That's what we should pick. Or we should go back in time and try and make that remedial handwriting class have more of an effect on you. Because it really didn't help.
I think it's just pre-remedial handwriting.
Is it? Okay.
Because I've never typed anything. What you just typed, that's my handwriting after remedial.
That class really did wonders. My, they're beautiful. Well done, Edra. Veltar Yog congratulated poor Stanton as he... See, I've got to the word I didn't check. As he sucked a second mint humbug, not socked it.
Socked it, yeah.
He may have put it in his sock, but I think he sucked a second mint humbug.
Yeah.
What shall we do with them, sir? Asked Zeppa, who had also come along. Hummed Yog. Still love that joke. I'm not sure. All three of them were sat on Veltar Yog's tent on... that probably says in. That probably says in, isn't it? Sat on his tent, yeah, all right. It was flat. All three of them were sat in Veltar Yog's tent, which was green.
Thank you. There we go. Bit of information for you there.
Yeah, I mean, that's conjured it up in my head. Before, I was like, I can't see the tent, Howard. Can you give me some detail? Give me some visual detail so I can visualise the tent. It was green.
It was a green-coloured tent-shaped tent. It's the only bit you need to know about a tent, really, isn't it?
Oh, no, hang
I
on,
don't know
there's
how big
more.
it is. Oh, okay.
So they were all sat in Veltar Yog's tent, which was green, illuminated, and terribly spacious.
Oh. So I think it's big and green.
Big green, and it's got a light on it. Yeah. Big green and on fire. That's what it is. Because they tried to build a fire inside. They're like, it's a bit cold in this tent. Maybe we could have a fire on. Oh yes, let's do that. Oh no, we're on fire. Yeah, we're burning to death. Stupid mole people. The humanoid mole people rarely used lights, but this was a special occasion.
Why?
The lights.
Why? I mean, why?
Because they're moles. They
don't need them.
Yeah, they don't rely on their sight.
So special occasions being what?
When they decide to look at a thing. They get a Picasso in and they're all like, oh, look at that painting, isn't it nice? I don't usually look at things because I live underground and keep my eyes closed. If you imagine the humanoid mole people with long pointed noses, beady eyes, sharp teeth and a great amount of fur, then you have got it totally wrong.
Oh.
The humanoid mole people are...
Haven't got legs.
No teeth.
Or heads.
No fur, yeah. They are basically footballs. Yeah. The humanoid mole people are, in many respects, like your average human being. The only major difference is they have red eyes, never grow blonde hair, and tend to be shorter than adult humans. So they're just short people. You're just
dwarves.
You don't know the difference between dwarves and moles.
Yeah, they're called mole people because
when you see a dwarf, do you try and get it out your garden?
I'll give it a pair of glasses and a lamp. I'm like, yeah, I can see better, mate.
That'll help you. They do not have sharp claws. They have very special drills.
Yay! Yeah, they do.
drilling. I think what happened was you started writing about mole people, and you suddenly realised that you'd created a problem for yourself in that moles can just use their claws to dig, and you're like, but what? When are they going to get their drilling? When are we going to get to write about drilling? Gosh. If it's mole people, and you're like, oh no, I'll say they've got regular hands, and they're basically just regular people who own a lot of drills.
Yeah.
I love drilling.
Humanoid drill people. The second draft you'll find is called that.
Humanoid drill owners.
How does Erick Jones see a humanoid mole person and know it's a humanoid mole person if
Maybe
it's just like a regular person coming out of a hole?
I mean, red eyes is pretty distinctive, but, it doesn't necessarily...
Because he's carrying the drill, right?
It must be
That's
the drill.
what it was. That's the giveaway.
It's probably got the word mole written on the side of the drill.
Someone gets out of a hole carrying a drill.
And they've got red eyes.
And they've got mole written on them.
Yeah, and they are a mole.
Yeah, and they're a mole, with sharp teeth and claws.
Yeah, they've got claws. Yeah. So, they have they don't just have drills, though. They have very special drills. Oh, yeah. Right? Like the best drills. They've got the greatest drills.
Penis drills, right?
They have very special drills which allow them to dig safely and quickly. No, that's weird.
That's not what we do with drills, is it?
No, that's a spade.
Yeah.
They have very special drills which have a long handle and a flat bit on the bottom and are spade shaped and are spades. They cannot drill with this drill.
Do you like my special drill? Yeah, it's not a drill.
Which proves that they're not primitives. The fact that they've got spades but call them drills, that proves they're not primitives. Just the ability to have tools and also be wrong about what those tools are called is very much a civilised human thing.
Yeah, living underground, eating worms and being surprised at a mint humbug and never bother to drill or dig up and find out that there's a world up there. Yeah.
Never.
Very smart guys. Very smart.
Where are you going with your drill, poor Stanton? I just thought I'd try drilling upwards. No, that's ridiculous. You're going to drill to heaven? You can't do that. Have you not heard of gravity?
You want to stick your drill in God? You won't like that.
That is true. Do not drill me, okay? Go and drill Satan. Oh, no, don't drill me. So we've just learned that humanoid mole people are not primitive. Only 2 of them have heard of fridges, though. Only 2 moles have heard of fridges. So we had a little vote. We had a little survey, and the question was, do you know what a fridge is? And I see the majority of people have answered, no, I don't know what a fridge is. Why are you asking me this question?
Know what a fridge is. Heard of a fridge. If you have a big test and say, do you know what fridge is? They've all heard of a fridge now.
Yeah, that's true. Have you heard of a fridge? No, the first question was, have you heard of a fridge? And the answer to most of them was no. The second question, do you know what a fridge is? Unusually, 100% yes, we do. I don't know how that worked.
Because they mentioned fridges in the last chapter, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
Fridge magnets. They thought that the humbugs were fridge magnets.
Yeah, so those
and
two...
He was like, what's the fridge?
Whoever those two were talking about, they must have been two.
What fridge is? It's like a big white box. What you put humbugs on? Or something like that.
That sounds familiar, yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so only 2 of them have heard of fridges, though. So they can't be civilised. Where would we be without fridges? You just contradicted yourself. They've got spades, which proves they're not primitives.
Yes.
Only 2 of them had heard of fridges, though, so they can't be civilised.
Yeah, they can be civilised,
Right, so they're somewhere between primitive and civilised, but they're neither one of those things.
Mm-hmm. They're not primitives, they've got special drills that you can dig with.
Yeah.
But they aren't civilised because
they can't put those drills in the fridge.
Keep their cheese cold.
Yeah.
They can't hot cheese.
They can't drill their cheese.
Yeah. That's where all the holes in cheese comes from.
Yes,
that's them attempting to make it cold.
Moles drill cheese and then go, it's still
warm.
Still warm. I don't know why my cheese is still warm.
It's hotter now than it was before.
and it's spinning round in a circle.
Yeah.
And it's stuck on a drill. Yeah, that is the case. That is what's happening in this chapter. I think, said poor Stanton, that we should hand some over to the scientific department. They could maybe mass produce them. We'd be able to sell them to our people and other tribes. What's he talking about? Humbugs. Okay. Good idea, Edra, with one major drawback.
We haven't got a scientific department.
I hope so. It's all right. I know what the drawback is. But can't we start a scientific department? Yes. I suppose so. I'll get on to it. Meanwhile, we can take half and get the rest of the scouts to try them. Okay, why? What's that going plan to achieve?
They're explorers, aren't they?
They just for fun.
They've discovered things, and now they're going to get everyone to try them.
Have a go.
Hey, we found this thing. We don't know what it is. Let's all eat it.
Yeah. Here you go.
Any problems with this idea?
I just dug this up. Put it in your mouth. everyone put it in your mouth.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's food. It did come in a bag. Right, so they're going to give it to all the scouts. Right. Come along then, you two, let's leave, said Yog as he stood and put his head through the roof of the tent. Running joke. Whoops, I was forgetting my height again. Oh, silly me with my big tent that's not very tall.
Spacious. It's very wide.
Yeah, very wide tent. That, or he really is massive. But didn't you say that like he's regular sized and everyone else is short?
He's a really tall dwarf. He's taller than us. Both of us on each other's shoulders.
Oh, that's pretty. I was going to say taller than us is not that tall, as we know. Yeah. Since the generation below us suddenly got like really stupidly tall.
Yeah, I think they were always tall. It was just Coville.
Do you think so?
Coville. Everyone's short in Coville.
You think?
Because of all the inbreeding. Could be.
Yeah. Because Coville, you may not know this, listener, but the town that we come from has a long history of incests. Do you know? I'm sure I must have told you the story that someone told me. We come from a mining town, right? And
we like drilling, don't we?
We love a good drill. So we come from a mining town, and apparently, over 100 years ago, in Coville, miners would work with their wives because they'd need a miner's mate. Because they're hacking away at the coal with their pickaxe, and the miner's mate has to push the trolley with the coal in, right? So this causes a problem if the miner's wife becomes pregnant, because once she's pregnant, she can't work with him anymore while she's pregnant.
Too fat.
Exactly. She can't get down that drilled hole anymore. She gets stuck in it, and then you've plugged the mine with a woman. Yeah. And then no one can get down. It's a problem, all right? So the solution to this problem, apparently, was that once the miner had a daughter of impregnable age, he'd fuck her instead. Not that he'd get her to work with him. So this was apparently a thing. And also, until at least in our lifetimes, our town has been the place in England with more incest-related crime than anywhere else.
Incest-related crime?
Crime, yeah, as in convicted, like...
Not like, you know, brothers and sisters boning each other and then, like, shooting guns. What's the crime that they commit?
The crime is incest.
Oh. How is love a crime?
If you have it with your sister. I mean, love isn't a crime. We're talking about sex, all right? Loving your family is actually a good thing. Yeah. Making love to your family, not so good, all right? That's where it goes wrong. When you just add that verb "make."
See, we're not smart enough. I mean, I didn't realise that. I thought it was the same thing. Not got a dictionary in my house.
Well, you need to get one quickly before you get in more trouble. Anyway, most of the incest-related crime in the 80s was done by Howard. Because he didn't have a dictionary. That was always his defence. Sorry, Your Honour, I didn't have a dictionary to look up the difference between love and make love too. Sorry, but I've apologised to my dad. And he says it's all right.
Yeah,
he says it's fine, don't worry about it. Can I go? No, okay, I have to go to prison. Oh, well. I always thought, when I found this out, it seemed to make a lot of sense of Colville. Because now there's a lot of difference because like people have been moving in for the last couple of decades and there's a lot more diversity in Colville now. But when we were growing up, it really was an ugly place. Right? It was hideous. You'd go to the town centre and there'd be all these weird, lumpy old people walking around.
They're still there, man. I was there not long ago.
Hair growing out of the creases in their face. There was just something wrong about them. And a lot of the kids we went to school with as well, you'd just be a bit like... You're a bit weird. But we escaped it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, my sister definitely didn't marry her cousin, did she? Yeah, we continued the proud tradition in my family.
You did, yeah. I escaped it by... we don't know where I come from, do we? Let's hope that my parents didn't abandon me because society wouldn't accept their love because they were brother and sister. Anyway, that was a nice little incest aside. Let's get back to the story.
Why were we talking about Why were we talking about incest? Do we remember?
No idea.
Because moles are into incest. Is that what we're saying? Because they live in secluded tribes. They can't see they can't see who they're boning, so they accidentally find that they're just fucking their brothers and stuff. But they can't, can they? Because they only turn lights off for special occasions, or maybe that's what they mean by special occasions, i.e., sex. That's a special occasion. They turn the lights on so they know they're not fucking their dad.
All right, so at this point in the story, we're with the moles and they're banging on about humbugs.
I mean, if you don't like them banging on about humbugs, you're not going to enjoy the rest of this. It's primarily a humbug-based story.
With the exception of one humanoid mole person, everybody in the Scouts had tried the humbugs. So one of them didn't. Why? Do they just they hate black and white things?
Careful now. Steady on now.
No, that's equality.
No, it just means that they're really I don't know, what's
Chinese
Chinese people.
people.
Yeah, you get racists in China, right? Just a Chinese racist. There was amongst the moles, there was one Chinese racist.
Chinese racist. Just sitting there going, I don't know why I'm here. Already the remaining humbugs had been sent back to the rest of the tribe, and the newly formed scientific department,
Oh, wow, didn't waste any time on that.
that was quick, right, were on their way to finding out the secrets of the black and white items which had appeared so mysteriously by a large yellow hit them and they dong pole.
Okay,
Yeah.
they weren't close to finding the secrets of them because they've just formed a scientific department. No one knows what scientific is.
They don't know
They've
what
never heard
science
the word
is, yeah.
before. They don't know what science is. They've just got a bunch of... I mean, this
got a
tribe
bunch
is
of regular
famous for
moles.
exploring. So basically, this
Yeah.
is a load of dwarves that know how to dig, right?
Yeah, and basically,
not sure what
but
a
they
shovel
sent
is.
it back to the tribe,
Yeah.
the people who don't do the digging. So they've gone to the
But they're all
rubbish.
diggers though,
no,
right?
but
They're
they've gone to
the-
the more rubbish ones.
right, yeah.
These are the pioneers out the front. They're the good diggers. They've gone,
Okay.
well, send these humbugs back to the
People who don't know how to dig.
to the rubbish diggers and tell them to be scientists.
Yeah.
Tell them to create science and find out how to reproduce these things.
Yeah, let's... So what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to do what? I've got to figure out what this is and make more of them.
I suppose if you were a non-civilized but not primitive society, then you might have sussed out agriculture. So the first thing they're going to do is plant one, water it, and see if a humbug
That's
tree
true,
grows.
yeah, that's good. I was wondering how it would do it because I thought, as a scientist, and if I knew nothing about science, but I don't know, seen some TV.
Yeah, which
be
is
like-
basically what you are. That is you. You are describing
My
yourself.
immediate thought was I'd think I had to clone it rather than break down its atoms and molecules or whatever and put it
break
in
down
a
its atoms
petri
and
dish
molecules,
and then
put it in a
figure
petri
out what
dish,
it's made
yeah,
from
yeah.
and then
Hit it with a
boil some
test
up
tube.
and make something new. I thought I've got my scientist. Could you please invent cloning? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what does that
We
mean?
need more of these. But yeah, you're right. You would plant them.
Okay, so
So they sent it back and said, "Please invent cloning." Okay, that's
Yeah.
where we were.
or plant them.
Oh, plant them.
The 12 members of the scout camp sat around.
Reminiscing about how much they'd enjoyed that humbug earlier. Hey, do you remember when you?
I mean,
had
that is basically
humbug?
what's going to happen.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just that I missed what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
sitting around. The 12 members of the scout camp sat around a heater trying to keep warm.
A heater.
They discussed the humbugs.
It's really cold under the ground, isn't it? Famously, it's
Yeah.
freezing down under the ground.
Well, it is. It is. If you,
Is it?
yeah, of course. If you're in a cold place, it depends which ground you're in. But I mean, anywhere,
Are they in a
anywhere,
cold place?
anywhere, even in a hot place, if you dig down a bit, it gets cooler.
No, because the Earth's centre of the Earth isn't cold. It's hot, isn't it?
No, that's true. But you have to dig quite a long way to get there.
You don't know where they are. As much as I don't know that
They're where the
next to-
pipes are. No, you don't lay water pipes in the centre of the earth.
You don't lay water pipes. You don't lay water pipes somewhere cold because they'd freeze. They wouldn't be water. They'd be ice pipes, and who needs those? There's no such thing. There's no ice coming out of my ice pipe. Yeah, I wonder why not. Is it because ice is solid and doesn't move? Oh, that might be it. Yes.
My ice pipe. Hang on, I didn't think this through carefully enough. Why did I lay an ice pipe? I mean, it is effectively an ice pipe.
Lay an ice pipe. That's what I call my shits.
I'm supposed to lay an egg, being a chicken, but I laid an ice pipe, and now I'm trying to smoke ice in my ice pipe. No, that doesn't happen. All right, so there's a new character coming up. I don't trust him, said Snidrick Impo. The only one not to have tried the sweets. So he might be the only one who survives. They're probably poisonous.
Finally, a sensible mole.
Yeah.
Some mole sense right there.
How come we're not dead? Not now, you'll not know. But who knows what might happen later.
Yeah, he's failed to understand how poison works, does he? That Scottish one. But yeah.
They could be working on you now, killing you slowly, or they might have a delayed reaction. You might explode any second now. He watched them expectantly. Be quiet, ordered Yog. Do not try to spoil one of the most enjoyable things that has ever happened to us people.
It's humanoid mole people.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible life they've got. If the best thing that's ever happened to anyone in quite a large group is they found some humbugs and ate them off the floor. Like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Well, I mean, they are basically a bunch of people who live in the dark and don't know that they're fucking their own mum, so... Finding a sweet is pretty great, right? It's like, oh, finally I'm not boning my sister.
Accidentally. Okay. So don't spoil the best thing that's ever happened to our people. We are not going to explode, right? Yes, okay. Good. You could always boil away, I suppose. Boil away, that common form of death. Oh no, what happened to your grandma? Oh, she boiled away. Well, she boiled away. She accidentally put herself in the kettle and evaporated.
Well, they're boiled sweets, aren't they? Humbugs.
No, you've got it, that is true. Yes, they are boiled sweets, and so you might boil away.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you nailed that one, fair enough. Shut up! That's not me telling you to shut up, Howard. That is Veltar Yog telling you to shut up. Shut up! Sorry. Get out of here, Snydrick. You're bad for morale. Snydrick stood and left the others behind, grumbling as he went. The 11 continued to sit around the heater, only now they didn't speak. Snydrick had set them thinking. The vague glow from the heater flickered. Why is it a heater, not a fire? That's weird, right?
I thought it was a radiator.
And it flickered as well. It's not a radiator because a light flickers.
Bright radiator.
It must be
It's a glowing radiator.
either a bright radiator or one of those old kind of 3-bar fires.
Yeah,
because they glowed. It must be one of them. And they were portable as well, so you probably
moles have them.
These moles probably
famously
have a 3-bar heater.
Never had a humbug before. But we've got a 3-bar heater. You can plug into something.
You can plug into the pipe. Yeah. Plug into Snydrick. Yeah. That's why it's dimming now because he's gone.
Oh no, he's the heater.
So the light flickered over their faces, making the worry lines on their foreheads stand out.
There's 11 of them. But they've only got 4 heads. What kind of race of people are these humanoid mole people? They just share 4 heads between 11 people.
They're just, it turns out that's why they're short.
Yeah.
And that's why that one of them,
he's got all the heads. So he's twice as tall as the rest of them.
He's got 4 heads piled up on top of each other. Everyone else is just
Can
a
I
body.
have a go on the head now, please, Voltar Yog?
No, you can't. Leave it alone. They're my heads. They're my 4 heads. He read that humans have 4 heads, and he wants to be human. He's like, I've always dreamed of being human. And where can I get 3 more heads from so I can be human? Because they are basically humanoid. They're not mole-like in any way. The only thing that's mole-like about them, you've said, is that they own a drill. That is their main mole characteristic. That's how they're different from humans. Because who's ever heard of a human owning a drill?
Yeah.
But mole's famous for it. But apart from that, they are humanoid. So Voltar Yog, right?
Yeah.
He's always loved the idea of being a human. He's like, when sometimes people love a different culture or a different country,
like Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or people, some like weird Americans can be Anglophiles. They're like, oh, England's so interesting. They're wrong, obviously, but they don't know that. But this guy is like a humanophile. He just loves everything human, and he'd love to be one. So he's read up about humans, and he's like, they've got 4 heads. It's like, oh, right, I better get myself three spare heads then. So Veltar Yog is taking charge. And next in the exciting mole story is... Come on, men.
Come on, men.
Come on, men.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I will, if you say so.
Oh, stop that now.
So quick. Come on, man. Snydrick was just trying to scare you. You're not going to let him succeed now, are you? It's not like you can die from eating a humbug when I've already cut your head off weeks ago. Come on. No, they all shouted. Come on, then.
Their neck holes.
Yeah. Come on, then. Be happy. Who's for a game of cards?
Oh, clock patience, surely?
Who wants to play clock patience with me? Solitaire clock patience? I don't think you understand how clock patience works.
I don't think you understand how not having a head works.
Stop answering back.
So, yeah, I'm going to play clock patience. You're going to sit next to me and go, yay, go, Voltaire, Yog, go.
Yeah, out of your neck hole while being fully dead. The scouts drank, played cards, and told the inevitable ghost stories.
Once upon a time, there was a spooky headless mole.
There were 10 of them.
Yeah, we know that.
Following me around because I was dragging them on ropes. But what Snydrick had said lingered at the back of their minds. Could Snydrick be right? Surely not. He couldn't possibly be. No, never. And Snydrick slept. In his bed of right person. In his right bed. Which meant he was right. Is he right? Are they all going to die of humbug disease?
They're going to turn into the moles from the other chapter earlier. That's what I'm saying. The timeline's out of whack. They're going to burst out of the ground.
So it's not going to kill them, it's going to send them mad.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 8. The Deal of the Two Eternals. Ooh. Sounds like we're going celestial. All right. The 26 players sat round a large rectangular table on square chairs with round faces.
Did it say that?
No.
Oh. Why were their faces round?
Because people have round faces, don't they? Charlie Brown does.
I can't argue with that.
The 26 players sat round a large rectangular table. 4 Eternals on the short sides and 9 on the long ones.
I think it's important.
Yeah, you got to know that kind of detail.
Arrangement,
yeah. The table was positioned in an equally rectangular room.
So it's the same size then? How do they fit?
Equally No, I think that does work. Equally rectangular. It's the same shape, not the same size, isn't it? Even that. It's just
be something be a different size and be the same shape. That's not possible, isn't it? Because that's no longer the same shape.
No, shape is like the relation of the sides. Like if its long sides are twice as long as its short sides, then that is a shape.
It's relation. So now tables are sleeping with other tables as well. It's not just moles.
Tables are sleeping with moles relations. Okay. This is the terrible thing that the tables do, and tables can do it with 4 moles at once.
They can do that, can't they? Yeah. Well, we know this might have more legs. We don't know.
Huh?
It might be a table with lots of legs.
I mean, it is because there's 26 gods sitting around it. That already makes 52 legs. Yeah. Plus 4 legs on the table. Yeah. That is 12 legs.
There's a lot more legs.
That is loads of legs.
Higher than anyone can count.
Yeah. Anyone in this room, anyway. Maybe somewhere out there in the wide universe there's some mythical genius who can count above 52.
Yeah.
But they're not here.
Mathy Man. He's one of the other gods there.
Mathy Man.
I think that what I've done is, like, wisely, much as like J.R. Tolkien did with his maps, is just give you a little information to begin with, then knowing that I can expand as much as I want to with my massive trilogy in the future when I introduce the new gods. Ones that I'm not mentioning. Because if I mention them all now, then I'm a slave to my gods that are like Mathy Man, you know. I'm going to be having to come up with things for Mathy Man to do, other than count how many legs equals 20 legs.
And that's the kind of sum that only Mathy Man could hope to do. Mathy Man, I've got a particularly difficult maths question for you.
I need you to count these 20 legs and tell me how many there are.
Legs. Can you tell me how many legs are 20 legs? That's what you said.
Yeah. Give me a second. It's a toughie.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to check.
I'm going to have to prime my mathness. Just pressing my math head. Okay,
it's 12. So, the table was positioned in an equally rectangular room, which was painted with every colour you can think of.
They painted it.
They painted the room, the rectangular room, with every colour you can think of.
It just happened to be every colour.
But I mean, it doesn't say every colour, it says every colour you can think of. Right. And we don't know who you is. Like you could be, can't think of many colours, Steve, right? Who's also at the table.
Yeah, he is.
He's like the least impressive god.
He's a rubbish guy.
Can't think of many colours, Steve. He can only ever manage one.
Yeah.
He's like, can't think of a colour, he's like blue.
Blue, yeah. Here's another blue room. Meanwhile, Mathy Man's there going like, yeah, it's like a million colours.
Yeah.
You sure about that, Mathy Man?
Blue, and blue.
Counted them all.
Counted it 3 times.
On my fingers. I've only got 10 fingers.
Really? That's a surprise. I thought I had 4. And on the table were 27 computer systems.
What?
One for each player.
One
and
spare stool.
and one for beating Marcus Peabody to death with. Excuse me. Thank you for inviting me to your party and everything.
Second worst
game,
god,
but,
Marcus Peabody. Then.
Yeah, well, he is dead, so he's in heaven with all these gods. But they always invite him to their party so they can beat him to death with something they've got one too many of.
Yeah.
What's this 27? That's the hitting computer. Oh no, not again.
Well, at least I am ahead of the curve, and I've realised that computers are the way forward, and it's not a board game.
Not a board game, no. They've all
But
got
they are
computers.
all sat around next to each other, playing computer games.
Well, the 27th computer, actually, it says one for each player and a master computer in the middle of the 26.
So nice of you to name it after me, Doctor Who, said Heathmaster.
Along with each player computer came 2 electronic 6-sided dice, which, when rolled, would send their score to the master computer. It's like wireless dice.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Do they even exist? I mean, they ought to exist, right? Do they exist?
I invented them.
But I mean, now can you actually buy them physically? Because obviously you can get apps to roll dice and stuff, but loads of people play like tabletop gaming and stuff. Like, why wouldn't there be wireless dice that send the result to your computer in some
Probably
way?
because you can read, right? People can read.
Yeah, but I think people would buy them just as a novelty.
Yeah.
And if they don't exist, I feel like you need to invent them and sell them to your Doctor Who empire.
Okay.
All right, so wireless dice, Bluetooth low energy dice.
Oh no.
The dice can detect it as being picked, thrown, and which direction it ends up in after a throw, communicating the results to Smart Dice smartphone app. Everything exists. This is the trouble. I thought we'd actually found a thing that doesn't exist because, like, it's so useless.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you've got smartphone apps where you can just roll virtual dice, or if you don't want virtual dice, you've got real dice, and you don't need something that interacts between those two things. No, you don't need to be able to roll a dice and it to tell your smartphone what number came up.
You don't. You can just have a fake dice on your phone.
Yeah, or a real dice. You don't
dice.
Need something that's between the two of those things.
But someone's made it and everyone loves it. Think about other things we could roll that send a signal to like
cheeses,
a sausage roll.
like sausages, and you know how they do cheese rolling down a hill in like West Country?
No, but I'm when I want to.
Have you never seen cheese rolling?
No.
They get big cheese wheels, right?
Who's they?
The people who have got nothing better to do, and they roll them down a hill. It's like in Worcestershire or somewhere.
Right.
Sorry, Worcestershire. It probably isn't. It's just some village somewhere. But
you know, people are from Worcestershire seem like the kind of absolute morons that like rolling cheese down a hill. In order to send, in order to send the results to their computer, let their computer know that they've rolled some cheese down a hill.
Yeah, and then later,
I got a text.
Tells them what a loser they are.
I just got a text hold on. Oh, you just rolled some cheese down a hill.
You loser.
Yeah, you loser. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Cheese rolling. Look, these guys are cheese rolling. There they are. Look at them rolling cheese.
Is that only 10 of them, right?
Let's get.
I think that's just some people you know who like rolling cheese.
What, Steve the cheese roller? Cheese rolling Steve.
Yeah.
I almost wrote cheese rolling Steve. I would have ruined it.
Should have done. What are they doing?
They're rolling cheese and then running.
Oh,
and
they're
then falling
rolling
over.
as well, though.
Now they're rolling, yeah. I don't know why. I guess they're chasing it, seeing who can catch the cheese first. It's cheese catching.
They are chasing
they're
cheese,
aren't they? Yeah. Will they attack you when you get to the bottom? Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, what are you doing? Oh my god! It looks like they're really injuring themselves.
Yeah,
right?
what I don't understand is why people can't run down a hill in Gloucestershire.
Have they never seen a hill before?
Because it's not difficult, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to run down a hill.
No, but these guys are really bad at it.
Most people I've seen run down a hill don't
and
fall over.
why do they attack you when you get to the bottom? Why is there a group of people waiting to attack you?
Yeah, throw the kid!
They're really bad at it, right?
We're just watching some cheese rolling in Gloucestershire from 2016 now. If you'd like to see it yourself, just type cheese rolling into YouTube.
Why do they attack them at the bottom?
Because they failed to get the cheese, I suppose.
I mean, they're all failures. Look at them.
I know. It's like they're falling over on
attack
purpose,
someone
right?
for being a failure. Yeah, definitely. All right.
We should add it to the bucket list. If you'd like to see Man by Cow, that's Rufus and Howard, do cheese rolling.
Yeah, but we're just on our own. We're not doing it with
No,
a
we're
load
doing
of
it in
other
your garden,
morons.
because that will look way too steep. And like, we haven't got any round cheese, so it's going to be a block. It's not going anywhere.
Just throw. Basically, you stand at one end of the garden, I'll stand at the other, and I'll throw a block of cheese at you.
Right.
And if you catch it, you can have it.
Okay, all right. Sounds fun.
But we'll cut it up into small blocks, then it's no chance of injury, right? I'll throw bits of cheese at you. You keep your mouth open, right?
Yeah.
And
Maybe
anything
we
you
could put
catch,
it
you can
with
have.
some pineapple on some
Yeah,
sticks.
yeah, and then it'll go in your eye. And then you'll be blind like a mole.
And then I'll be start bumming my dad. Like, immediately.
Yeah, that is the worst thing about being blind, isn't it? That whole bumming your dad part.
They do say other senses are, what's the word?
Yeah, other senses.
Adventurized? Supersized. And then what they mean
Compensate,
is
they
mean your
compensate.
penis. They mean your penis.
Yeah,
That's what
the
they
other-
say. When you
your
go
other
blind,
sense-
your penis compensates by bumming your dad.
Yeah, your dad bumming sense. That got really overcompensates when you're blind. Alright, I've got the cheese. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready!
Okay, you ready to catch it in your mouth? Here comes number one. No, missed it. Okay, number two. Okay, here's another block. Number three.